Hey, what's up guys? Trent here. I started my career over 2.5 years ago in software sales as a sales development representative, SDR for short. I made over 38,000 cold calls, booking hundreds of meetings, leading to tens of millions of dollars in pipeline, resulting in over $1 million in closed revenue. A great cold call is like a Steph Curry three-point jump shot. The better you can shoot in the new and modern NBA, the more effective of a player you are. The better your cold calling ability, the more effective as a sales rep you're gonna be. The best way to get anything in life is simply by asking. In sales, in order to close these deals, we need to book appointments, and one of the most effective ways to set up meetings with people we don't necessarily have an existing relationship with is simply by picking up the phone and giving them a cold call. In this video, I'm gonna break down my secrets and my principles into how you can set more meetings making cold calls, how I actually make cold calls, and what you should think about when you start to think about opening lines and just a script you can use. I'm gonna share all of that with you today, so make sure to stick around to the end of the video. An example cold call is ring, 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 ring. Hey, if you're watching this right now, make sure to hit the like button below and subscribe to the channel because it really helps and I'd appreciate it. That could be an example of a cold call. If you don't ask, you will not receive. So that's something you need to understand in your head, is if you're not willing to make cringy ask, you're not gonna have very much success setting meetings in cold calls. Being that the title of this video is focused specifically on the beginning of cold calls, opening lines, let me share with you guys my exact script right now, what I say on the phone. Here's my headphones right here. I've made so many calls with that headset, it's not even funny, but this is what I would say. If you're a prospect, it'd be ring, 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 ring. Hey, this is Trent from Qualtrics. How are you? You can replace that with your name. Hey, this is Sally Sue from Tesla. How are you? A lot of people have differing thoughts regarding not saying how are you, saying is now a bad time, is now a good time, saying, hey, can I have 27 seconds of your time? Whatever it is, I know a lot of people have differing thoughts, but trust me, I've made enough cold calls to know that it's a human on the other end of the phone. Sales is not about products, it's about people. Simply asking, how are you? Most likely they don't care. Most likely you don't care how they are, but why not be that one rep who actually cares how they are, and based on what they say, maybe say something else. You wanna get in quick and you wanna build very quick rapport in the first 3 to 5 seconds. And this is what I say. Hey, this is Trent from Qualtrics, how are you? They're like, I'm doing okay. Or sometimes they'll say, I'm doing okay, how are you? Anytime they ask you back, how are you? That's when you know you're in. As soon as I get that, I say, I'm doing really well, thanks for asking. And then here's the key. The reason I'm calling you is XYZ. This is the phrase you need to work in your opening line. The reason I'm calling you is, psychologically, we as humans need to understand why things are happening. When you get a call out of the blue, you most likely think this person's gonna make an ask of me that I don't necessarily want to do. I don't even know what I want, and I don't even know what we're talking about. So you need to give the prospect on the other end of the phone the reason why you're calling them immediately to make them diffuse so that they feel more calm. And this is what I say. Hey, Timmy, this is Trent from Qualtrics. How are you? Hey, Trent, I'm doing okay. How are you? Hey, I'm doing really well. Thanks for asking. The reason I'm calling you, Timmy, is I'm following up on a recent email I had sent you. Does the name Qualtrics ring a bell? If this is a complete cold outreach, I'm gonna say this line for a couple of reasons. I want to know, have they heard of my company? Do they have any preconceived experience working with us? And based on that, that's gonna change my talk track. If they have not heard of my company, then I need to quickly get into what it is that we can help with. If they have, maybe that will help me set a meeting. But overall, that's how I do it on a pure cold call. You could apply that to asking out a girl. You could do that to calling to order a pizza, whatever it is. Hey, how are you? Great. The reason I'm calling you is, insert your quick value prop or your question. Based on that, you need to be able to quickly convey the value of why you're calling and what you offer. Yeah, that's great. I noticed that you oversee the HR vision and strategy over there at Tesla. I'm curious, does employee feedback or employee engagement fall within your wheelhouse? Whatever it is you're selling, figure out what it is they may be doing just at the highest level and ask them that so that you can relate it to them. Oh, great. Well, I'd love to set up some time with you to learn more about your 2021 goals in relation to your employee experience and how my company Qualtrics may be able to help. Very quick, very easy. As soon as you convey some value, as soon as you make them feel like, oh, there is something here, you always make the ask. This is one of my key cold calling principles, is you need to make the ask. If you find yourself making a lot of calls but not actually setting the meetings, one of the biggest mistakes you may be making, and this is a mistake I made, is not making the ask. I had a post-it note on my desk for the longest time of make the ask. If you do not ask for their time, they will not suggest, hey, I love this cold call. Would you want to set up a meeting with you? It'd be very rare. And similar to you guys, if I don't say, hey, could you please hit the like button now and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already? If I don't say that, there's just such a lower chance that you actually do it because so many of you who watch are not subscribed. So go ahead and do that now and I'd really appreciate it. I release daily sales videos and just interesting videos that I think will help you. This is day, I think, 54 in a row. So think about that. Almost 60 days straight, almost 3 quarters consecutive of making daily videos. I'm committed, actually not 3 quarters. 3 quarters or a quarter would be 90 days. That's besides the point. Let's get into the cold call. Let me share with you my cold calling principles that are going to be most important, especially when we think about opening lines. The first thing you guys need to know, what you say isn't as important as how you say it. What does that mean? Let's deconstruct that. Voice, tone, inflection, pauses. Hey, the reason I'm calling you is, hey Trent, how are you doing today? Hey, I'm doing well. Hey, I'm doing well. I'm doing really well. Thanks for asking. I use inflection up and down to sound excited, to get the pace going, to then bring it back down, to make my ask and say, hey, the reason I'm calling you. This is a feel thing, and this is something that just intuitively comes to me and makes sense. But what you say isn't as important as how you say it. So you need to ask yourself, what is your tone? What is your pitch? What is your inflection? Go listen to your calls. Go listen to your colleagues who have successful calls. And if you're not setting meetings, if you find that people quickly write you off, they may just be having a bad day and you're going to have plenty of those. But it may be because what you're saying, you're not saying it the right way. When I first started, everyone said I sounded like a used car salesman because I talked super fast and it didn't resonate with prospects. The second thing I want you guys to know when you think about your opening lines and making cold calls is if the call feels rushed, it's you who are rushing the call. There's a time and a place to speed things up. It's like running the no huddle on offense. If you know that the time is dwindling, you gotta pick up the pace. And on a cold call, if you know that someone's doing something else, if you know that they're about to go run into something, then you need to respect that and get off the call quick. But if they're just trying to brush you off, hey, I'm in a meeting. No one in a meeting answers the call. If they're just trying to brush you off, you need to identify that and not let their pace of saying, why are you calling? Like, you know, the people that interrupt you and don't even let you get your words off. Don't let them control the pace. You need to control the pace. And if the call ever feels rushed, it's you who are rushing the conversation. You need to take back control, guys, and not let anyone rush you because you control the pace. The next thing I want you guys to be aware of is, of course, always making the ask. But when you're always making the ask, make sure to convey what's in it for them. If I just say, hey, subscribe to this channel, you may be thinking, I don't know if I want to subscribe to this channel. I don't know if I like this guy. But if I say, hey, if you subscribe to this channel, you'll see daily sales videos and updates that will help you become more successful. Okay, there's a little bit more there. Or hey, the reason you subscribe to this channel is because it really helps me and the channel as a whole. Okay, maybe I want to help Trent out. Make sure to convey what's in it to the prospect. Rather than just saying, what is your availability later this week to talk? Say, hey, based on our conversation today, it seems like you have alignment in this, and it could be helpful to explore how we may be able to help you accomplish XYZ. Make sure to always convey what's in it for the prospect and wind that into your ask so it sounds even more compelling and it will increase your chances of setting that meeting. The last thing I want to share with you guys is you need to be the person who cares to be there. This is how I've set myself apart making many cold calls. Rather than saying, I'm dreading making this cold call, I'm scared of getting rejected, I don't actually want to be doing this, there's 1,000 other things I'd rather be doing. Each and every call, I sound like I'm controlling my pitch, tone, and inflection, but I sound like I want to be there. I'm there to try and make someone's day. I'm there to try and help that person become more successful. If I can align my solutions to their needs and make that person more successful, help get that person promoted, that's going to make me more successful and that's going to make them more successful. The only way they can know about what I'm offering is if I really show up caring, empathizing with them, and really trying to be humble enough to understand what's important to them. And it's up to you as the cold caller to sound like you care, sound like you want to be there, go above and beyond, make sure to say, confirm their email, hey, here's a brief agenda, we'll be talking about this, I'll send you a reminder prior to the call. Be the person that goes the extra mile, care a little bit more than the next guy, and that's what's going to help you set you guys apart. Before we end here, guys, I want you to think about, what is your script today? Are you using the phrase, the reason I'm calling you is? What is your pitch? What is your tone? What is your inflection? Go have someone listen to some of your calls, analyze this, and come back and think about, how can you improve? Are you making the ask? Those are a couple top of mind items that you need to be thinking about in order to be more effective in not only the opening lines of a cold call, but making cold calls and setting more meetings. I hope that you found some value in this video today. If you did, I'll be asking you for the 100th time to subscribe to the channel, like the video as well. Leave me a comment down below. What are your top thoughts when it comes to cold calling? What did I miss and what do you think is important? I would love for you to hear that, and I would love for everyone else watching this video to see what you think below. And let's just make it a forum for best practices. Maybe we all can set more meetings together. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a great night. Bye.